Shalom, shalom and welcome. Welcome to the channel. If you're tuning in for the first time, my name is Symmanayah. This is a series called Seed to Harvest, where I bring up parallels from conception to birth and beyond, some of the practical and natural things that we learn in life that can be applied to our spiritual path, our path to maturity and set apartness. If you are one who seeks to do the will of the Almighty Father, if you are one who believes the scriptures to be true, as it relates to John 6:44, which states that it is Yahuah who draws us to his word that is manifest in the name of Yahusha. Many people struggle with understanding these dynamics, but in due season, those who will fulfill the promises of the Almighty Father from a set-apart perspective will grow to understand. In this segment of Seed to Harvest, I want to address the matter of trying to fit in. You see, if you put a child, let's say a child start crawling, and he saw some kids playing in one corner, some adults talking in another corner, cat or dog playing or sitting down, the baby will crawl to whatever attracts them, trying to fit in the scheme of things. If you are one who are born again, one who has awakened to the truth, who has started his path towards maturity, him or her, if you are one of those individuals that shoe fits, how would you feel if in your thirst, someone handed you a shot glass to give you water, but you wanted more? That wouldn't fit your needs. How would you feel if someone offered you a place to stay on the back seat of their car, and out of your eagerness, you say, well, got to be some kind of beginning, so I'll take it. And then you step out the car and go up to a food truck to order something to eat, and you see another guy at the food truck eating, and he asks you, say, oh, you new around here? You say, yes. And he said, I am too. He said, I moved into this apartment right over there. It was a huge bedroom apartment. It had two rooms and beds, but the person that second room was for never showed up, so it's just empty. And let's say that you were from Chicago, and the guy didn't know it, and he said, yeah, some guy from Chicago was supposed to get that room, but he never showed up. What would you do? How would you feel? I believe that then you would say, you will see if that person from Chicago was you, and you would want to step into that bigger room. You see, out of anxiousness and eagerness and wanting to find just the first place to lay your head, you jumped into that back seat of the car that someone offered you. Sometimes that's problematic. Now you might say, that's never going to happen to me. The same happens with those that are set apart of Yahuah. There are positions and tasks and processes for all the set apart children of Yahuah. And I will present the case why it is not wise to just try to fit in. Why trying to fit in is not the best move to make. Yashar'al, set apart family, we are one body. There are many members in different functions, but all under one spirit. Our understanding of how to function as one will emerge as we are disciplined by the Almighty Yahuah through his word and his spirit that comes in Yahusha's name. This will make sense to you in the days ahead in order to fulfill promises that the Almighty Father has made to his children. It is time to realize that our understanding and use of the word submit to leadership is flawed. It fuels actions that reflect people trying to fit in. Why is leadership flawed? So many leaders think that they have to command leadership in a way where they're dictating. Leadership doesn't mean dictating. Leadership means setting the example of set-apartness in the wisdom that the Almighty Father provides. In such a manner, others will follow as they are directed by the Almighty Father. Let's look at Matthew 6:28-34. Come with me. It says, so why do you worry about clothing? Note well the lilies of the field, how they grow. They neither toil nor spin. And I say to you that even Shalum in all his esteem was not dressed like one of these. But if the Almighty One so clothes the grass in the field, which exists today and tomorrow is thrown into the furnace, how much more you, O you of little faith? Do not worry then, saying, what shall we eat? Or what shall we drink? What shall we wear? For all these the nations seek for, and your heavenly Father knows that you need all these. But seek, listen carefully, but seek first the reign of the Almighty One. It says Elohim here. I'm reading the Scriptures version 2009. And his righteousness, and all these shall be added to you. Do not then worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow shall have its own worries. Each day has enough evil of itself. My brothers and sisters, there are those that will take this passage and they will present the attitude that is void of understanding. An attitude that say, I don't worry, I'm not worried about anything. It says the Almighty Father is going to take care of me. But they forget, even in Noah, days of Noah, there was a plan given, details and processes given to build the ark, to prepare the ark, to load the ark, to manage the ark. You see, my brothers and sisters, we're not to worry, but let us not ignore plans and details that come before us, whether it be through another or whether it be directly in spirit. I also want to bring to the forefront Romans 12:1-5. Now remember it says, seek Yahuah first, and all things will be added. Romans 12:1-5 say, I call upon you therefore, brothers, through the compassion of the Almighty One, to present your bodies a living offering, set apart, well-pleasing to the Almighty One, your reasonable worship. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, so that you prove what is that good and well-pleasing and perfect desire of the Almighty One. Do not be conformed to the world. See, the world has us thinking that leaders are those that dictate to the group. Leaders are those that make the group stay together, forge the group into his or her image. That's what the world would have us to think. But the Spirit of Yahuah begs the difference. In order to find out his desire and his will, we must realize that he works in us, through us, one towards another. And it's through recognizing his Spirit working in us that we will be transformed by the renewing of our mind as his Spirit guides us and teaches us. Going on to verse 3-5 says, for I say through the favor which has been given to me, to everyone who is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he should think, but to think soberly, as the Almighty One has given to each a measure of belief. For as we have many members in one body, but all members do not have the same function, so we, the many, are one body in Messiah, and members each one of one another. Many members. That's a lot of members trying to fit in. Do you think that is the way it is designed? for us to run trying to fit in this set apart body and see how we can be of service? I don't think that would be the smartest thing to do. You see, we will grow to know that though we are many members, our ultimate guide is the Spirit of Yahuwah, sent in Yahusha's name. Make no mistake, he works in us, through us, one towards another. Come with me to 1 Corinthians 12, 14 through 20, my brothers and sisters. It say, for indeed the body is not one member, but many. And if the foot says, because I am not the hand, I do not belong to the body, does it therefore not belong to the body? No, it belongs to the body, my brothers and sisters, even if it says it doesn't belong. And if the ear says, because I am not an eye, I do not belong to the body, does it therefore not belong to the body? Regardless of what the ear says, it's a part of the body. If all the body was an eye, where would the hearing? If all hearing, where would be the smelling? But now the Almighty One has set the member, each one of them, in the body, even as he pleased. And if they all had been one member, where would the body be? And now there are indeed many members, but one body. Many members. Different functions within the body. Never forget that. Let me continue on in that same chapter of 1 Corinthians, 12th chapter, verse 21 through 27, saying, and the eye is unable to say to the hand, I have no need of you, or again the head to the feet, I have no need of you. But much rather those members of the body which are thought to be weaker are necessary, and to those of the body which we think to be less respected, these we present greater respect, and our unseemly members have greater seemliness, whereas our seemly members have no need. But the Almighty One blended together the body. Let me say it again. But the Almighty One blended together the body, having given greater respect to that member which lacks it, that there should be no division in the body, but that the members should have the same concern for one another. And if one member suffer, all the members suffer with it. Or if one member is esteemed, all members rejoice with it. All the members rejoice with it. And you are the body of Messiah and members individually. Yashar'al, Yashar'al. Designed, forged, guided, shaped by the power and might, by the instructions from the Almighty Father. Let us remember that it is he who forged the characteristics of Yashar'al. It is he who is refining and shaping and disciplining the individual members of Yashar'al, trying to fit in, absent of the living orders from Abba Yahuwah, produces what we are witnessing as a whole, disjointedness and division among one another. You see, we shouldn't try to fit in. We should learn and grow in discerning the voice of the Almighty Father. Be mindful that it's he who gives the assignments as he sees fit. It is important to know, come with me to Romans 10, 13 through 15. It reads, for everyone who calls on the name of Yahuwah shall be saved. How then shall they call on him in whom they have not believed? And how shall they believe in him of whom they have not heard? And how shall they hear without one proclaiming? And how shall they proclaim if they are not sent? As it has been written, how pleasant are the feet of those who bring the good news of peace, who bring the good news of the good. You see, there's a process, my brothers and sisters. There are methods that the Almighty Father used to instruct us to confirm that we've been saved by him, by his word, by the sacrifice and resurrection of Yahusha. We find life in Yahuwah through his word. Ephesians 4:11 through 16. Come with me there, my brother, my sister. It say, and he himself gave some as emissaries, some as prophets, some as evangelists, some as shepherds and teachers, for the perfecting of the set apart ones, to the work of the service, to a building up of the body of Messiah, until we all come to the unity of the belief and of the knowledge of the Son of the Almighty One, to a perfect man, to the measure of the stature of the completeness of Messiah, so that we should no longer be children tossed to and fro. See, that children tossed to and fro could also be said so that we no longer be as children trying to fit in, trying to see where we should be positioned by every wind of doctrine. They say, but by the trickery of men. So let us not let man try to push us to where they think we should fit in. And cleverness unto the craftiness of leading astray. But maintaining the truth in love, we grow up in the respects into him who is the head of Messiah. So we don't want to be children tossed to and fro. We don't want to be children trying to fit in. We have been designed with an identity and a position. And the tasks that we receive in the coming days will become clearer as we mature, as we are disciplined and refined by the hand of the Almighty Father working through us, by his word working through us, in us, one towards another, and through his chosen ones, for whom the entire body joined and knit together by what every joint supplies, according to the working by which each part does its share, causes growth of the body for the building up of itself in love. Yashar'al, Yashar'al. These words are to encourage you that you are important. Instead of trying to fit in, let us discern our position. Let us understand that true discernment is when the Spirit of Yahusha reveals, uncover, and make known to us what is expected. We have grown to know our identity as a set-apart family. Let us discern our specific function in the body of this set-apart family. Let us discern and not try to fit in, but grow in maturity in the position that the Almighty Father has for us or in store for us. 2 Corinthians 6:16 says, and what union has the dwelling place of the Almighty One with idols? For you are a dwelling place of the living Almighty One. As the Almighty One said, I shall dwell in them and walk among them, and I shall be their Almighty One, and they shall be my people. He works in us. We don't need to try to fit in. Know that we are in that place that he has established our feet, that place in which he is directing and guiding our feet, our words, our actions. Colossians 3:16 says, let the word of Messiah dwell in you richly, teaching and admonishing one another in all wisdom, seeking with pleasure in your hearts to the Master in psalms and songs and praises and spiritual songs. Let the word of Messiah dwell in us, for in doing so we will be able to identify the position, that position, this task, that task, tasks that make up the body of Mashiach. Ephesians, come with me there, 5:17-21. I mention it often. It says, so then do not be foolish, but understand what the desire of Yahuwah is. And do not be drunk with wine, in which is loose behavior, but be filled with the Spirit, speaking to each other in psalms and songs and praise and spiritual songs, singing and striking the strings in your heart to the Master, giving thanks always for all to the Almighty One, the Father, in the name of our Master Yahusha Messiah, subjecting yourselves to each other in the fear of the Almighty One. You know, Proverbs 1:7 talks about the fear of Yahuwah as the beginning of knowledge, and it states that fools despise wisdom and discipline. Fearing Yahuwah, when it says subjecting yourselves to each other in the fear of the Almighty One, see, he dwells within us. as I mentioned in 2 Corinthians 6:16. So he will speak through us one towards another or through his chosen leadership as he see fit. So that fear that we have of the Almighty One is a fear that brings Paul to examine things thoroughly to make sure it is indeed the Spirit of Abba Yahuah working in us or through us one towards another or through his chosen leaders. It's not a fear and trembling to just across the board you're afraid of things. We are not to be afraid of what man can do, but we should fear Yahuah so that we can discern the knowledge and wisdom, so that we can yield to his discipline with a ready mind, body, and soul. I have witnessed leaders unlearned in knowing how to acknowledge the full makeup of a body, whether naturally speaking or from a set-apart perspective. So you see, society have us thinking that leadership is that dictator, that controller, that ones who shapes things around him or her the way they see fit. Many leaders fail to demonstrate the path to true discernment. You see, because in discerning, a true leader would demonstrate when they discern the Spirit of Yahuah speaking through a brother or sister, and that leader will yield. There'll be times when that leader will yield to the Spirit of Yahuah working through a brother, a sister, a child. There'll be times when a leader will demonstrate when to yield, when to be quiet, when to speak, when to move, when to be still. You see, the leader will demonstrate obedience and set apartness in such a manner others will want to follow. That's the leader. That's the shepherd. They will walk in ways to preserve the body. But there are many leaders who spend time competing with one another. When leaders are unlearned and undiscerning, they neglect to take for granted. They neglect or take for granted the functions of their people. In other words, sometimes the leader's ego is so big, they don't understand the least among them. In some cases, they don't understand all the functions that are necessary to make the body successful and strong. And because of that lack of understanding, unlearned and undiscerning, they will go as far as to dismiss a brother or sister, someone that is actually a member of the set-apart family, because they bring something that that leader may not understand, is unlearned in, or don't see the significance or purpose. Such behaviors are what causes the body to experience slow growth, if any. Let us remember, instead of trying to fit in, let us be among leadership that is able to discern the right parts of the body and know when to yield. Let us, if we are to lead with the mindset to discern the instructions from the Almighty Father, not trying to compete with another, but doing what is the desire and will of He who sent us by the breath that He's given us. Beware of leaders who they themselves are trying to fit in and won't tell you. Such individuals compete with other assemblies and are void of demonstrating the life and the scriptures. I'm going to give you some examples. Proverbs 11:14 say, without guidance the people fail, but in great counsel there is safety. Are you among a leader who understands that great counsel can bring safety? And if so, who are they listening to? Who are we listening to? And it's said great counselor. So we need to be able to vet and examine the counselor to see if they fit the bill of a great counselor. Trying to fit in, it's not going to work. We should grow to discern wise counselors. We should grow to discern what plans are set apart versus those that are not. Proverbs 15:22 read, without counsel, plans go wrong, but by great counsels they are established. You see, so many leaders fail to realize the processes and details laid out in the scriptures because of their lack of discerning the voice of the Spirit of Yahuwah that comes in Yahusha's name. They may not know. I have seen situations where ideas are presented, but because the leader can't comprehend, or because the leader thinks that this person presents too many solutions and they jealous that they will lose their leadership because of this person or that person, they speak bad of them, or they ignore them, or they say that, well, go get your own ministry, so to speak. You see, there are those who will say, my ministry. There are those who have the audacity to say, do you and I'll do me. But yet they say they follow the scriptures, when the scriptures say there are many members, but one body. We're not silos, my brothers and sisters. Come with me to John 14:25 and 26. It says, these words I have spoken to you while still with you. But the helper, the set-apart spirit whom the Father will send in my name, this is Yahusha speaking, he shall teach you all and remind you all that I've said to you. You see, my brothers and sisters, it is the Spirit of Yahuwah that comes, his word that comes in Yahusha's name, to guide, to help us, to teach us. And sometimes by him dwelling in us, he will use the least among us to introduce some instructions or even corrections to fortify the body. Not to take lead over the whole body. It may be just to present something of leadership for the moment. My brothers and sisters, these are the days discipline will prove we must and will come to be. Must and will come to be. Discipline will prove what must and will come to be. To fulfill Abba Yahuwah's promise to his children, we will witness the days of trying to fit in replaced with actually being guided to our chosen positions, acting and functioning like a well-organized machine, and more. Yashar'al, oh Yashar'al. I say it often, and I will say it again. I will stress the need to have discussions regarding trying to fit in. Let us replace those discussions, those words, trying to fit in, with identifying what your purpose is, what your task is within the body of Yashar'al, and know how to work and succinct in the function in which we have been tasked by the Almighty Father. Such discussions will expose those who truly seek to discern versus just leading. If they cannot discuss wisely how to discern the voice of the Spirit of Yahuwah, reading, studying, praying, having a heart, mind to serve and worship him, these will guide you, me, and us. These will be contributing factors to Yashar'al coming closer together. Trying to fit in will only cause one to stumble and be a distraction and be a detriment, cause harm to not only themselves or those also around them. It's time, O Yashar'al, it's time to pray. Be patient. Grow by seeking the will of the Almighty Father. Grow by studying, praying, and obeying his laws, statutes, his commands, discerning his living orders, coming away from unfruitful arguments and debates and grumblings. Yashar'al, my brother, my sister, my family, if these words gave you some encouragement, if these words gave you some wisdom, if these words stirred your spirit to pray and seek to grow closer to the Almighty Father versus trying to fit in, consider subscribing, share, like. Let us utilize the algorithm that YouTube has put before to spread words of encouragement to one another, to spread knowledge of set apartness to one another. Sometimes by subscribing, the brother or sister that you invited to subscribe to this channel may discover something among the many messages that I presented that you didn't, that is set apart. And it's not about me, but if I am indeed a brother who is emulating, reflecting the things that are set apart that's from the Almighty Father Yahuah, wouldn't you want to share that with someone else? Wouldn't you want to take advantage of all things that the Almighty Father made possible to get the things that are truthful and wise, things that will strengthen you, me, us? Yashar'al, Yashar'al. Let us look forward to all that the Almighty Father has for us and stop trying to fit in and identify the position that we have been called and function in that task. That's all I have right now on this subject. I say to you, O Yashar'al, be encouraged. My prayer is that we grow to discern the voice of the Spirit of Yahuah like never before. For in the coming days, as things get intense, some things going to require a sense of urgency, quick and wise decisions, lest we find ourselves left behind. I'll stop there. On that note, pray, be encouraged. Shalum.